Hi, it's Stephanie from Book Blurbs and Blahs. Welcome to my channel. Today I'm going to talk about the 10 classic books I would like to read in 2021. First off is the Pickwick Papers by Charles Dickens. So I've been reading some of Charles Dickens' books and I have not managed to read the Pickwick Papers yet, and I've heard it's one of his better books and it's quite funny and entertaining. I know my husband loves it and I know people who have read it love it. So this is the one that I'm going to read for 2021 and it's quite a thick one. I am a mood reader, so I'm going to have to time this so that I can actually sit down and read the whole thing and get through it this year. Next up, Prejudice by Jane Austen. Now, I'm not a big fan of Jane Austen. I usually DNF her books. This is one of them. I'm hoping to get back into this. It's been a while since I last tried to read it. I have tried to read Emma. I have finally completed Northanger Abbey. So let's hope this one brings me to a place where I become a Jane Austen fan and actually appreciate her work. I do like her writing. I can't complain about that. It's just the story. The story usually is the bit that I don't enjoy. However, I know the story. I have seen the film adaptations. So let's see how the book actually reads. Arthur Conan Doyle, The Hound of the Baskervilles. The Hound of the Baskervilles by Arthur Conan Doyle. So this is part of the Sherlock Holmes series that he wrote. Haven't read any of them. I have seen the series and adaptations and programmes over the years, so it would be nice to see actually how these books read and compare to the actual shows themselves. Next on my list is George Orwell, 1984. Don't know very much about this book. I read Animal Farm when I was 14, when I was at high school in England. I recently reread it with my kids because I'm not sure if it's on the Canadian curriculum and I wanted them to understand the theme of that story. So then I decided to buy this book because I wanted to read more of his work. Don't know much about this. I think it's a continuation from Animal Farm, maybe in a utopian style. I don't know, but I'll be intrigued to see this and I would like to actually get this read for 2021. The Tenant of Wildfowl Hall by Bronte. I do like the Bronte sisters. I like their writing. I particularly like Charlotte's writing style. They're quite dark. I think they give a more of a serious picture, a more realistic picture of what it was like to live in those times because they base it on their own experiences. So I've heard really good reviews on this book and I am quite intrigued to read this one. It's quite a good chunky size one, so I'm going to have to find some time to sit and actually get my teeth into this. I think you need to concentrate when you're reading any of the Bronte sisters' stories. Nathalian, Hawthorne, The Scarlet Letter. I did try to read this, it was earlier this year actually. I didn't get through it, I got busy and then I just forgot about it. So I think I'm going to pick this up, reread it. It's not a thick book, don't know anything about it. Just one of those classics that I'd like to get into. I'm quite happy to read authors that I've never read before. And I think this is going to be just one of those books that is going to be a bit different. The Woman in White by Wilkie Collins. This is a Victorian thriller. I love books based in the Victorian period. I love historical fiction. This one's going to be really interesting to me. Again, it's quite a thick one. I think I've been putting this one off just because it is quite a chunky one. But that's okay. I think I'm going to finally get into this. I have heard really positive reviews on this book. So I think, again, I'm going to have to find time where I can actually sit and read this in quiet so I can actually get into the story. I can imagine there's quite a lot of build up to this story. I think there's going to be quite a lot of build up with the story and the characters in this book. back to the Bronte sisters. So this one's by Scarlet and it's Villette. Don't know anything about this book. I've heard it's very good. I'm going to keep it that way. I don't want to hear anything until I've read it. It did get a bit water damage recently, which I was a bit upset about because I haven't touched this book yet. However, this is one that I'm really, really keen to read for 2021. Frances Hodgson Burnett, The Secret Garden. I watched the film adaptation when I was a kid. Wasn't a big fan of it. A little bit upset about it. I thought it was going to be a bit more magical than what it was, I think. But I would actually like to read the story. I've never read the book before. So finally got it and I'm going to read it for 2021. And last, but by no means least, is Black Beauty by Anne Cirwell. This was one of my favourite children's literature books when I was growing up. I watched the movie adaptations. They made me cry every single time, and there is a new movie adaptation coming out. It's going to be quite different. I saw the trailer recently and it's going to be quite different from the Victorian period that I grew up watching, which I hope is going to be good because this is just a great children's classic and it's a brilliant story, and it just makes my heart kind of sing when I see this book, and I'm looking forward to rereading it. I haven't reread it in quite some time. And that's it for my top 10 classic books that I want to read in 2021. And I hope you enjoyed it, and I hope to see you soon. Don't forget to subscribe and click that bell button.